Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this episode, I will be talking about immigration. Is it a reason or a result of a war? First of all, there's two kinds of immigration. One, voluntary immigration, which is where someone does not find what he wants and what he dreams of in his place of residence, so he chooses to move to another place looking for his dreams or whatever he wants. The second kind of immigration is a forced immigration. And this kind is usually caused by wars, natural disasters. If we notice in the last few years, in the near past, our Middle Eastern countries faced a lot of wars. In Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen. And these wars caused a lot of destruction, death, economical instability, which has forced the people of this area to emigrate. Where did they emigrate to? Mostly Europe. Now we have to look in a different direction and look at Europe. Europe is called the old continent. And it's called that because they do not have the young human resource, which means they do not have enough young people to keep the countries going. And they're always in need for immigrants. And that's why one of the reasons of the wars that Europe launched on the Middle East is to get this massive amount of immigrants. Because they looked and they said, what can we benefit from launching a war on the Middle East? Well, number one, they can keep the Middle East under their control. Number two, they get all that massive amount of immigrants. Okay, well, they thought that when these immigrants will come over, we will brainwash them and we will make them blend in and disappear in the society. Well, unfortunately for them, it did not happen. Because we Arabs, as we know, whether we immigrate voluntarily or involuntarily, we gather around each other and try to build the atmosphere where we can live according to our ways of life, our beliefs, our customs, our ideology. Well, now they're thinking that we have all this amount of immigrants and they have a totally different ideology than we have. They are a threat, according to their thoughts. So they're thinking we have to find a solution, alternative solution. So they look around and their choice come on Ukraine. They chose Ukraine as their next target. Ukraine have a lot of people, have a lot of young people. Ukraine have almost 45 million people. Big amount of them are young generation, and they think practically the same way they think, they look like they look, and their ideology is very close. And if they create a war, they're going to create this war between Ukraine and Russia. What can they benefit from that? Well, one, they can create, when they create the war with Russia, they will weaken Russia. The war will weaken Russia. Then at the same time, they will benefit with the immigrants. So immediately after the war happened, you find out that all European countries that bordering with Ukraine opened their doors for the immigrants. Like they already knew they're coming. Well, after a short time, they realized that now we have a lot of immigrants. We have the old Middle Eastern immigrants and we have now the new ones. So we have to find a solution. So they start finding solution like to get rid of the Middle Eastern immigrants and they try to find a ways to ship them to Africa and other ways. In these two examples, we will find out that immigration was a big reason of the war. They created the war to create the immigration. Of course, it's a result, but creating the war, one of the reasons to create the war was to have a lot of immigrants. So hopefully we will start looking deeply into things, and specifically things coming from the West. The West does not want our best interest. So any agenda, anything coming period from the Western world, we have to look into it deeply and make sure it pours in our best interest, or else try to stop it. Till another episode, thank you very much.